What's happening here? How can this be possible? Do we really understand more about the fabric of reality than we do about the fabric which emerges from our human interactions? Unfortunately, the answer is yes.
Something shocking happened that will make you question everything. The invisible strings pulling your life might not just be metaphors. They're real, and they're tightening. Who's really pulling the strings behind your every move? It's time to find out. Every choice you think you're making might already be decided for you. Let us pull back the curtain and reveal the shocking truth you were never meant to see. The invisible chains that bind us. For centuries, people have handed over their power to leaders, systems, and ideas without even realizing it. Think about it. When was the last time you truly made a decision for yourself, not influenced by ads, traditions, or what you thought others expected? The truth is, there's a whole structure in place designed to keep you following the script. Breaking out of it starts with taking back your power. What if the script wasn't just for you, but about you and the key to escape? It's been right in front of you all along. Picture this. Ancient thinkers, long before our modern distractions, talked about something they called archons. These weren't just bad guys in myths. They were forces that messed with your head, twisting your thoughts and beliefs to keep you stuck in a fake reality. Back then, people like the Gnostics believed these forces created a kind of invisible prison. And while those ancient teachings were buried and burned, the ideas didn't disappear. They've been hiding, waiting for you to uncover them. Now, let's fast forward. Today's archons aren't mythical beings. They're systems, algorithms, and structures that shape how you think and live. Social media, the news, even your daily routines, all carefully designed to keep you distracted and obedient. When you scroll your phone or binge-watch shows, it feels harmless, right? But those moments add up, keeping you too busy to question the bigger picture. Let's get real. The world you live in is a masterpiece of control. From the jobs you take to the dreams you chase, everything has been set up to keep you playing the game. Even your desires, the perfect house, the latest gadget, the dream vacation, are handed to you like a menu at a restaurant. But what if you're not hungry for what's on offer? What if there's something more, something real, beyond the shiny distractions? Take a step back and think about your daily routine. Wake up, check your phone, head to work, come home, crash. Do it again the next day. Feels normal, right? But it's not. This cycle is a carefully constructed cage. Every app you open, every ad you see, every headline you read, they're all part of the program. And here's the kicker. The program runs best when you don't even know it's there. We're creatures of habit, and that's no accident. Researchers found that almost 9 out of 10 of our decisions follow predictable patterns. It's like we're on rails, convinced we're choosing freely. Even the smallest things, like the coffee shop you go to or the shows you watch, fit into this bigger pattern. The question is, who's laying down the tracks? Here's a story to make you think. Patricia, a regular office worker, started noticing odd things. Her favorite coffee shop always had exactly 3 people ahead of her in line. Her train was consistently late by 2 minutes. Her coworkers repeated the same small talk every Monday. At first, it seemed like a coincidence, but the more she paid attention, the more patterns she saw. It was like her world was running on a script. And guess what? Your world might be too. Algorithms predict what you'll want before you even know it. Social media feeds are tailored to keep you scrolling. Your phone tracks every move, and it's not just about convenience. It's about control. The more predictable you are, the easier you are to manage. But let's not get too grim here, because once you see the patterns, you can start breaking them. Ever notice how some people seem to rise above it all? They're not trapped by the same routines or rules. They've spotted the cracks in the system and found a way out. And you can too. It starts with the little things. Take a different route to work. Leave your phone at home for a day. Say yes to something you'd normally avoid. These small acts of rebellion shake up the script. They create space for you to think and act freely. And then there's the bigger stuff. The fears, the desires, the beliefs that keep you tied down. These aren't just feelings. They're part of the program too. Fear keeps you from taking risks. Desire keeps you chasing things you don't really need. Belief locks you into a version of reality that might not even be real. Think about this. Your thoughts create your world. If you expect things to go wrong, they probably will. If you believe you're not good enough, life will show you proof. But if you start to expect better, believe in more, the program has to adjust. It's not magic. It's just how the system works. This isn't just about changing your mindset, though. It's about seeing through the illusion. The world around you feels solid and real, but at its core, it's not. Science has shown us that even the most solid objects are mostly empty space. Your memories, your senses, even time itself, all flexible, all part of the code. Ever experienced déjà vu? Like you've been in the exact same moment before? That's not just your brain playing tricks. It's a glitch, a crack in the program where you catch a glimpse of how it really works. And those moments when life feels too perfect or too strange? Same deal. They're signs that the system isn't as flawless as it seems. But knowing about the system isn't enough. You've got to push against it, test its limits, start questioning everything. Have you ever wondered if there's more to your daily routine than meets the eye? You're not just living in the system, you're fueling it. Even your dreams are co-opted. Advertisements sell you the idea of a perfect life, the dream house, the dream vacation, the dream job. But who defined these dreams? They're not yours. They're carefully crafted to keep you chasing an illusion. The architects know that if you're busy chasing their version of success, you won't have time to discover your own path. Let's not forget entertainment. Movies, music, sports, even your favorite shows, all are tools of distraction. They keep you entertained enough to ignore the bigger questions. While you're binge-watching the latest series, the architects are fine-tuning the system to make sure you stay in line. What happens when you stop following and start creating? Let's find out. Reclaiming reality. But what happens when you step out of this routine? What if you stopped consuming mindlessly? What if you started creating instead of just absorbing? The system isn't built for creators, it's built for consumers. The more you create, the less control they have over you. Breaking free isn't easy. It starts with small steps. Turn off the notifications that demand your attention every few minutes. Spend time in nature, away from the noise of technology. Read books that challenge your perspective. Surround yourself with people who question the status quo. These changes might seem small, but they add up. They shift your focus away from the system and toward your own power. The architects have spent centuries perfecting their design. They've learned how to manipulate human psychology to their advantage, but they've also underestimated the human spirit. Awareness spreads like wildfire. Once enough people see the cage, the whole system starts to shake. And that's what they fear most. A mass awakening. Your journey to freedom won't look like anyone else's. It's personal, unique to you, but it starts with a single question. What do I want? Not what the system says you should want, but what truly matters to you. When you start living for yourself instead of the architects, you take the first step toward breaking free. Reality is a canvas, and you hold the brush. Don't let someone else paint your life for you. Take control, challenge everything, question the system, and most importantly, remember that you are the architect of your own destiny. All right, let's dig deep into this. Reality isn't random or chaotic. It's a carefully curated setup. The world we navigate, the beliefs we hold, and the desires we chase, they're not entirely ours. Everything we think is normal has been subtly shaped over generations by unseen forces. These forces aren't necessarily evil villains scheming in secret hideouts. Instead, they're more like master planners or gardeners. They cultivate society like you'd shape a bonsai tree, snipping branches, redirecting growth, and creating a structure so subtle you barely notice it's there. Imagine a prison, not with walls and guards, but one where the inmates keep themselves locked in without realizing it. That's what's happening to most of us. We're living within boundaries that were set for us long ago. We're not trapped by force, but by the illusion that there's no other way. However, cracks in this illusion are starting to show. People are questioning everything. Why do we follow these rules? Who decided this was the way to live? Is there another option? The answer lies in understanding how the system works. The true power of those shaping our reality is their invisibility. Their influence isn't loud or obvious. It's quiet and pervasive. They don't need to force us into compliance because we've internalized their expectations. Breaking free isn't about fighting these architects or exposing their plans. It's about seeing them for what they are. Once you recognize their patterns, it becomes impossible not to notice them everywhere. It's like finding out how a magician's trick works. The magic disappears, and all you see is the sleight of hand. Let's start with money, the cornerstone of modern life. It's a human invention, a symbol of value that only works because we all agree it does. Think about cash. It's just paper or numbers on a screen, but it's so deeply ingrained in our lives that it feels real. And then there's the stuff money can buy. Cars, houses, clothes, gadgets. These are just status symbols, crafted to make us feel like we've made it. But do these things really matter? Or are they distractions from what truly brings happiness? Social media amplifies this illusion. It's a giant showroom of curated lives where everyone displays their best moments and shiny new purchases. We scroll endlessly, comparing ourselves to others, feeling inadequate and yearning for more. This endless loop of comparison fuels our desire to buy, consume, and show off. And who benefits? The corporations that spend billions on advertising, planting ideas in our heads about what we need to be happy. They create artificial scarcity with limited editions and exclusive releases, tricking us into thinking we'll be incomplete without their products. But let's take a step back. The richest people you know, are they the happiest? Studies show that once basic needs are met, more money and possessions don't equate to greater happiness. Yet, we're stuck in a materialistic cycle, constantly chasing something that can't truly satisfy us. This mindset even seeps into our relationships. We judge people by their jobs, cars, and homes. Friendships become networking opportunities, and love gets tangled up with financial expectations. People stay in jobs they hate just to maintain lifestyles they don't need, all because society tells us that's what success looks like. Think back to school. From the moment we step into a classroom, we're taught to follow a path. Study hard, get good grades, secure a high-paying job, and climb the corporate ladder. Success is measured by degrees, job titles, and income. But what about creativity, emotional intelligence, or personal growth? Those don't fit neatly into this system. The education system primes us to become cogs in the machine, rather than unique individuals pursuing our passions. Debt is another layer of this trap. Credit cards and loans promise instant gratification, but come with invisible chains. We buy things we can't afford, sinking into debt that keeps us tethered to jobs we might despise. Even our homes, often the most significant purchase we make, can become part of this cycle. We buy bigger houses than we need, fill them with things we rarely use, and work long hours to pay for it all. Over time, the stuff we own starts to own us. Here's a thought. Beyond basic necessities, what actually makes people happy? Research shows it's not possessions, but experiences and relationships. People who focus on meaningful interactions and personal growth often report higher levels of life satisfaction. Some of the happiest individuals live simply, prioritizing connection and fulfillment over material wealth. If the world is a canvas, what happens when you take the brush? Let's explore. Unveiling the power within. The way out of this cycle starts with awareness. Begin by noticing the forces shaping your choices. Ads are designed to make you feel insecure and push you to buy things. Question why you want the things you do. Are they genuinely valuable to you, or are they filling an emotional void? Take a close look at your spending. Does it align with your core values? Are you investing in things that truly matter to you? Building new habits is crucial. Start with gratitude for what you already have. Delay purchases to see if they're necessary or just impulsive wants. Find joy in the little things. A walk in the park, learning something new, or sharing a conversation with someone you care about. Build relationships based on mutual respect and genuine connection, not superficial status games. Your worth isn't determined by your possessions or your bank account. Real freedom comes from realizing that the most valuable things in life, love, friendship, peace of mind, can't be bought. This doesn't mean you have to give up all material comforts, but it does mean being conscious of how materialism influences your decisions. Choose what matters to you, not what society dictates should matter. Live deliberately and on your own terms. Every small step you take toward intentional living chips away at the illusion. Each time you resist an unnecessary purchase or value yourself for who you are instead of what you own, you're breaking free. You're seeing through the matrix, reclaiming your power, and building a life rooted in authenticity. Speaking of power, let's talk about what it really means. Most people think power is about controlling others or accumulating wealth. But true power starts within. It's about knowing yourself and making your own choices. When you wake up each day, are you living your life? Or are you following a script someone else wrote? Many of us live in boxes we didn't create, following rules we never questioned. The good news is, you can break out of this box. Your mind is like a supercomputer running outdated programs. These programs tell you who you are and what you can or can't do. But here's the secret. You can rewrite them. Every time you challenge a belief, you're rewriting your mental software. The limits you think you have, they're not real. They're just thoughts. And thoughts can change. Think back to a time when you did something you thought you couldn't. That moment wasn't a fluke. It was proof that your limits are just illusions. Each time you push past them, you're building new neural pathways. Your brain is rewiring itself to see possibilities instead of barriers. Breaking free doesn't require huge leaps. Start small, change one habit, question one belief, make one choice that's truly yours. Each step builds momentum. Fear will try to hold you back. It'll whisper that it's safer to stay where you are. But fear is just another program. You don't have to let it control you. In fact, fear often points to the areas where you need to grow. Your attention is your most valuable resource. Whatever you focus on grows. If you fixate on problems, you'll see more problems. If you focus on solutions, opportunities will appear. This isn't some mystical concept. It's how your brain filters information. Most people give their power away without realizing it. They let others define their worth. The media dictate their desires. And fear limit their potential. Reclaiming your power means becoming aware of these patterns and choosing differently. The system wants you to stay asleep, to keep believing you're not enough. But you are enough. Right now, as you are. Everything else is just noise. The prison doors have always been open. The only thing keeping you inside is the belief that you're locked in. It's time to walk through those doors and start living on your own terms. Choose freedom. Choose authenticity. Choose yourself. Have you ever felt like the world around you is a little too perfect? Like things happen in ways that seem almost scripted? Well, buckle up, because we're diving into a wild idea, a reality that might not be as real as you think. Let's start simple. Ever noticed how life seems to run on repeat? Wake up, work, eat, sleep, and do it all over again. It's like you're stuck in a loop. But what if that loop isn't just boring? What if it's actually programmed? Think about it. We believe the world works a certain way. So it does. Gravity pulls us down because we've been told it always will. But what if that's just a rule we're following without even realizing it? Now, take a second to think about coincidences. You're thinking about someone, and bam, they text you. Or you're feeling like you're seeing the same number over and over. These aren't just random. They could be clues. Signs that this whole thing we call reality is actually a kind of system responding to what you notice. It's like the world bends just enough to show you something's up, but only if you're paying attention. Here's a fun one. Déjà vu. That weird feeling like you've lived a moment before. People brush it off as your brain glitching, but what if it's the system repeating itself? A little recycling of data, like when a game reuses parts of a map to save space. And those moments where time feels slow or super fast. That's not your imagination. That's the frame rate of reality, skipping beats or speeding up. But hey, let's not just talk about the weird stuff. Let's talk about power. Yours. The world around you works based on rules, right? Rules that we've all just agreed on. But here's the kicker. You can break them. Start small, do something unexpected. Take a different route home. Talk to someone you'd normally ignore. These little acts of chaos can crack the system's hold on you. The more you step outside the lines, the more you'll see how flexible reality really is. And don't forget about emotions. Fear, anger, desire. They're not just feelings. They're leashes, keeping you predictable, easy to manage. Notice how fear stops you from trying something new, or how anger makes you react the same way every time. Break that cycle. Feel the emotion, but don't let it own you. That's when you start rewriting the code. Speaking of rewriting, let's get into how your thoughts shape what happens around you. Think your day's gonna suck? Watch how everything seems to go wrong. Expect to mess up? Bet you will, but flip it. Expect good things and the system adjusts. It's not magic, it's just how the program works. Your mindset is the input, and the world responds accordingly. So, what if the emotions you feel are just programmed responses you can rewrite? Are you ready to take control? Comment, like, and subscribe to join the conversation.